like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
Still...
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to...
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off, too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is...
Nadia, Clorinde, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners.
No.
Huh?
Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that...
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment?
Marechaussee what?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and role...
That sounds super interesting.
Clorinde and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues, but I think this one is pretty solid. The author...
Whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4.
So, you're saying...
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a...
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players, and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think?
Well, that solves our problem.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script.
The script manager? Didn't you just say that you get...
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for this script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion...
Wow, you're right.
And it's...
I look forward to experiencing...
Why don't you go meet up with the others?
Sounds good. Remember...
You say that like I'm... Let me think.
I just hope you'll pick up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
You're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and...
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of the Tabletop Troupe?
I'm more of a casual member if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorinde simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I wanted in.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script. If it's sufficiently fun, then I'll join.
Do you participate in a lot of Tabletop Troupe activities, Clorinde?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing. Really, just a...
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all personal feelings to the side and grant a fair duel to all who seek to defend their honor. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who feels anger and sadness, just like everyone else.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that way from the outside.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger, though, that might be something I could accomplish.
No, that's not what I meant.
Ah, I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Wait, are you a champion duelist too, Mr. Florian?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles in my scripts.
That sounds like a lot of.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of this script was adapted from the real history of the Marushose Hunter.
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of—
Oh, no problem at all. Their story can be traced back to the but I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out.
Mm-hmm. And I'll provide additional commentary as the...
In that case,
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the—
aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very well.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes?
It's the exact location of the scene. Please check all your belongings, everyone. And make sure you haven't forgotten it.
Sounds good. Hunter Squad?
Whoa, they really have thought of everything. Even the phaetometer is here and ready to go for us.
The phaetometer.
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure.
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so nice.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all over them.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts are great, but I'm still looking forward to the
Very fair. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed in this story. Everyone is a Marushose hunter. To reflect this,
Ooh, nice.
as hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part?
Why don't you...
So, for the name,
Yep. It can be...
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I...
Oh, so it would be like
In that case, I think I'll continue.
Next up is the skill sheet.
I'll take persuasion and investigate.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for—
So, should we also take...
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could, for example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking... Let me see. I'll take arts and performance.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler? Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. Ha Got us. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see.
You've all picked such classic skills.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here. Summon.
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used.
The script's world-building rules, huh?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn Summon then. Paimon can't wait to see what kind of thing shows up.
Well, now that everyone's since 2 of our players are doing this would you like to play on easy mode?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes for example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot if you choose to play in authentic mode. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will
Given that I'd like to focus on...
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. Never knowing what you might have to...
All right, then I'll mark.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
Trust me, you'll see. Honestly, I don't think Clorinde would make things...
No problem.
That wasn't...
Well, anyway, enough talk.
Speaking of the story, why is the...
Well, that's a long time ago. Back when human civilization was still in its Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to... Sometime later, as a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive... As you inhale, you can taste your eyes meet. And you realize
You're all Marechaussee hunters too, right? What say you to traveling together?
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little, and...
Is this where you introduce your... My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble
Hey, you can do it, Farina.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend, and...
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part.
Oh, welcome, welcome.
you open your envelopes at the same time. To the honorable and trustworthy the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by...
Huh. The layout of this city...
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city...
As experienced hunters, yet, as you regard...
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the...
You see a long string of
In that case...
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on...
You look up and see a tavern nearby.
Why don't we go check out that tavern?
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather.
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information.
Oh, come now. Don't be sad.
I don't think that's the kind of...
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food.
How about you didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies?
That's not necessary, miss.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. You're really starting to remind me of this one friend of mine. Hey! Did she just... me?
Clorinde must have broke character for a sec.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
Are you sure? In that case, please...
Whoa, it was a success.
You remain silent as you prepare a pot and fire to use for cooking. The woman stares at you with her mouth agape as you skillfully cut the ingredients and toss them into the pot. After some time, a rich aroma begins to
Please, have some food. Who knows? Maybe you'll feel better after
Whoa, that's
Wait. So, as long as you pass the check...
You were right.
So, what had you so worried earlier? Could you tell us a bit more about it?
A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently. So,
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure.
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible.
Don't worry. We'll find him. Just try to... We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things like...
You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very...
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to...
That depends.
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with that amount.
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not...
Whoa, what a nasty guy. Maybe we should...
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate it if you could share that information.
Well, things are basically as you said. Those monsters are camped outside the city. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna...
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or
We could all starve and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now. I've still got business to do.
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet that would make your life just a little bit sweeter. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to work. It's just a tip.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. still immersed in...
This guy seems promising enough. Hello, sir. Is there an...
Oh, wait, you're...
I...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Mara...
You recognize us? Ah,
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city.
Are there not enough soldiers?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have... Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how, to be perfectly honest, I was
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable Marshosei...
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes...
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters...
All I know is that the area outside the city is... Oh, although, if you leave...
I see. We'll go...
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just... They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the... Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish...
talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him.
Hey! Not everything can...
I appreciate your kindness, brave hunters. I leave the few...
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up trouble from within.
But which problem should we tackle first?
Well, this seems like a good moment.
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that.
Well, Clorinde said the script took cues from the real history of
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of...
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script.
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super
No. All Marashose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only...
Huh? So you mean...
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the... Still, most people dropped out at the early stages. And others called it quits.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remur. One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a
Now, wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in this...
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game.
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago.
From my master.
By master... Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were
Let's not get off topic. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors... Yet, as Fontaine entered an...
Ah, I see. That explains why...
Is that really a bad thing, though?
Depends on who you ask, I suppose.
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first?
I vote monsters. That...
Well said, Miss Farina.
What about you, partner? What do you think? I mean, you're not wrong. We don't want a total party kill on the first day. Then it's settled.
All right. After...
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat... I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so state your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious.
I said talk.
Have you...
Marashose hunters? Ha! That fair... With some suspicion, the captain allows you to survey his condition. Unfortunately, you're unable to adequately assess the source.
I'm sorry. My skills are a little...
Well, this is no ordinary wound. It was inflicted by a mon. He regards you with suspicion for quite some time before shaking his head.
Sir, we were indeed in the city earlier, but our purpose... Your guards are still fighting the monsters as we speak.
The man regards you with doubt and concern. Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief, and now they're out there fighting monsters.
Oh, please, sir. Don't get too worked up.
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. "Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back," they yell.
This is the place he mentioned.
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and downed trees riddled with... All the signs point to one thing.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression...
A little help here. This thing wants...
Your battle round...
Let the world collide! A proper send-off! Coming at ya!
Water jet! Let's get this show on the road!
The next battle round begins now.
Coming at ya!
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating into thin air.
Ugh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points.
I never knew the Fatometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky...
That's part of the fun.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump. Wait, could it be...
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion...
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you successfully, even without opening it. You can tell from the Mora and...
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it. We can...
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it.
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters. Wouldn't...
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon's...
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game...
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marchose hunters. What if they think we procured the...
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we...
Well, if donating it could cause that...
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once. Well, it's getting late.
Wow! Where did the time...
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is particularly enticing, but...
Here, here.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an ear...
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story
Huh? Another...
There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says...
Whoa. They really pulled out all the stops for this...
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can...
Something tells me...
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, and anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about...
Well...
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left...
What a heavy beat.
Master was a fascinating individual. If inexperienced in the ways of my first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See? That's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorinde.
Probably around...
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways...
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a
Geovicious hatchling? For a pet? That seems even...
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is...
And how old?
5.
Well,
No, I lost.
So, you're saying you actually...
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
that really doesn't sound like the kind of child.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure...
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms. Petronia the whole time.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time, so I didn't know how to interact with others.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think...
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but...
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean...
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until...
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her. Oh, there's no need to apologize. You, although calling herself the Protector of Order.
Huh? When did the Protector...
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided...
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the two she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone
But
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10.
Disappeared?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter and see.
Don't worry, I understand. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches.
Were you...
I was at first, but not anymore.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps.
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased.
Who knew Clorinde had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to ask her about it before. And I wonder... if Clorinde's master were the champion duelist back then... would that duel... Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navia are probably...
Well, anyway. Would you...
I had a great time today, Miss Clorinde.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime. Maybe your master would...
You could be right.
What does she mean, on to something? I certainly don't know any 5. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
Just between the two of us.
It was nothing special, really. Geo-bishops don't understand the concept of a pet. So, basically, it just...
And that...
Yeah, it hurt. What, something you want to experience for yourself?
Oh,